So there are obviously a lot of things that are going on inside of our world right now, not just in the US, but even on an international level. As most of you guys probably know if you saw the last video where I talked a little bit about what's been going on in China and about how this can potentially impact us. Highly definitely recommend that video because it also talks about some cultural reasons for why what's going on is going on, especially because, I'm someone that has origins in that area. But for today's video, maybe now traveling all the way back to the United States, there are also a lot of things that are happening inside of our country, as most of you guys know. Inflation is at very, very record highs right now and is still growing, where everything is becoming ultra expensive. The stock and the crypto market are both now either approaching or in some cases actually already hitting their lows, depending on the specific stock that we're talking about. And even on personal levels, I know that there are a lot of people that are still going through a lot of things, such as like with employment, unemployment, finding work, things on very, very personal levels. And feel free to share any particular stories if you guys have any, because at the end of the day, this is an open free speech platform, and I think a lot of times people really do enjoy having to be able to have their voices heard when they're going through a lot of different things. So obviously the big idea is that our country right now is either headed, or in technically by definition, if you use the Investopedia definition about how a recession is technically defined as having 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP, and the fact that we are now potentially going to be approaching a 3rd quarter of negative GDP, I think it's very hopefully safe to say is that to many, many people, the definition of what means to be in a Great Recession has now officially been reached. But I want to take a change of pace maybe in today's video to talk about a little bit of the positive silver lining side of a Great Recession, about what this can potentially mean for us, how we can benefit, because there is a chance that some people might get relatively rich, or certainly richer, in this particular era, and that's what I really want to cover in today's update. So hopefully something more positive and hopeful. So as always, we are going to get started, but real fast, as always, if you guys enjoy videos like this, especially because again we are talking about something hopeful, remember to smash the like button, or you can watch to the end to decide, but hopefully consider subscribing and hitting the bell for similar videos like this. And as always, feel free to comment any personal thoughts, stories, or really anything at all. I did also, as a quick insert, make recently a survey or a poll on my channel page, really asking about what potential video topics that you guys would like to see, especially with so much that's happening. So definitely check it out on my channel page and vote on that. Huge thanks if you guys already did, or feel free to comment down below, because I think it really helps everyone at the end of the day. So with that being said, now let's get this video started. So the first thing that I really want to talk about in today's video is probably going to be about the number one most important thing that almost every single person that's going through a Great Recession needs to have, or certainly be able to build up, and that is going to be able to make sure that you have cash, because this is actually one of the most important firepowers that you're going to use inside any kind of Great Recession. But there's actually, interestingly, both an offensive and a defensive side to this. When you are able to have cash and really be able to build up that cash reserve, it's incredible for offense, because it means you're able to now buy things at very, very cheap prices. This is probably a side that many people know. We're going to talk about some things that I don't think a lot of people are really talking about. For example, another thing though, however, is that it's also really important to build up cash, not just for the offensive side, but even on a defensive side, because there are going to be a lot of people that are going to lose, or have already lost, a lot of money, at least in the short-term future, through a Great Recession, with everything coming down. Stocks, crypto, housing's still really expensive, but it's starting to kind of come down a little bit, so I wouldn't really count housing, but potentially housing, but definitely stocks, crypto, lots of different kinds of investment. That stuff is really going down. So how this is related is that because if you are able to build up cash, it's also incredible for a defensive strategy, because it means that it prevents the amount of money that you will potentially lose. And it's also really great even beyond the investing world on a personal level, because if you are currently going through something, cash is going to be what can potentially keep you alive. So that's not even just an investment at this point. This is about our livelihoods, because there are many people that can Well, we'll just say that it's difficult. We'll just put it at that. And I think that this is something that's probably the most important asset that's going to potentially help a lot of people on basically every angle you can possibly think of. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is going to be all about the stock market. Now, the big thing to really notice is that regardless of whether or not you're into stocks, I think this is the part that's going to be relatively important. If you are not in the stock market, or if you are already in the stock market, even though I am aware that, there's a lot of people that are sinking deep in red, and I also want to talk about some less conventional strategies that I think not as many people I see are talking about. For example, about why dollar cost averaging, if you don't know what that is, we'll talk about in a little bit, is not always the most effective way, and we're going to explain a little bit about that in a little bit. But the big idea is that when it comes to the world of stocks, because we are seeing so many different stocks decline, start to fall, things in the crypto world, the common sense answer that you probably already know is that this is going to be a really, really great time to buy things, a really, really great time to buy assets because everything is really, really cheap. However, one of the biggest things I think not a lot of people are talking about is really about when to buy. And this is one of the less conventional things that I think really needs to be shared, which is really about dollar cost averaging. If you don't know what that is, essentially it's a strategy in the stock market where people decide to just split their money and buy little by little into increments, hoping that eventually it's going to come up back up, and then they're going to recover their cost. And that might actually work. However, I can certainly tell you that while that might work, or that sounds like it works in theory, right now at this current time, anyone that started to dollar cost average from the beginning, and we're going to make a video to really explore this about how to make money in stocks specifically. But right now at this current time, anyone that tried to dollar cost average over the last 6, 7, 8 months are sinking deep in red right now. And even if the stock was to, let's say, recover back up, a lot of them, people that bought 9 months ago, will officially break even. If it goes back, people that bought today will triple their investment or just multiply by how many times it went down. Obviously, nobody can time the stock market, but there are certain tricks and strategies that we're going to talk about maybe in another video to show you is that it is very, very important. But at this current point in time, because we're at least starting to see things come down relatively low, it might be a pretty interesting and good opportunity to look into. Housing is a little bit expensive, but that might be potentially something to also look into maybe down the line. We don't know because housing is still a little bit uncertain because it's kind of a weird situation, probably a video for another day. Now, I will do a really, really quick insert is that if you by any chance happen to be brand new into the stock market, I do actually have links to potentially sign up for WeBull and Robinhood right now if you're interested in trying to create a stock account in order to, or it's called a brokerage technically, but a stock account / brokerage in order to begin your journey in investing. I will probably also put a video at the very, very end screen that you guys can potentially check out. It's a little bit of an older video, but it talks a little bit about how to get started in investing. And what's really, really cool is that at least at this current time, if you were to sign up for a lot of these websites, they're going to give you a free stock, which you can also potentially just sell and then get free money. So if anything, there is a financial incentive and potentially a lot. It depends on the stock you get, but potentially something in the $100. So that's a lot of money. And so definitely something to potentially check out. And then probably the next and potentially last thing, which is one of the most important things that we're going to talk about how you can potentially use this as a great opportunity to maybe make money in the long term, is going to be something related to that I don't really think I've seen a lot of people talk about, but it's really about being able to build your skill set. Because the story is that during a Great Recession, it is very probable to say that many people might lose their jobs. And it's also very probable to say that, especially because this channel was built off during a time when I was also unemployed at that time, which is how everything here came to be. It also means that you might even already be unemployed. And it's that because during a Great Recession, when you're already out of work, because again, the goal is not to just be out of work for the sake of being, but if you just by any chance already find yourself out of work, one of the biggest things is that it might also be potentially a really great opportunity to try to experiment with a lot of things. This could be things such as like starting a business. The reason why is that because a lot of the best businesses were actually started during during times of hardships. Because at the end of the day, the purpose of a business is to try to create value in something that you can help people or certainly benefit them. Either help them during a time of difficulty or to make them even better during a time of prosperity. But the idea is to try to create something beneficial. So this might potentially be, with so many things going on, a chance to start a business, a chance to maybe improve a skill set, to learn a new skill, and to work on self. So when we are able to get out of this recession, hopefully, we don't know how long this could be, an indefinite period of time, which is very difficult. But when hopefully we are able to get out, we will also maybe be able to come out as better people. I think of this very, very similar to like those stories of, the people that are like trapped in war, in dungeons or anything like that, in prison or something like that, but that they, maybe train or do different things. So they come out as like a new person, a new legend or something powerful, like a beast, like you kind of see in the movies. But of course, this is real life that we're talking about, and it's a thing that happens, But really, beyond this is that that's pretty much what I really just wanted to share in today's update. So if you guys found that relatively insightful, maybe remember to smash the like button if you guys haven't done so. Remember to vote on my channel page. There's going to be videos at the very, very end screen. And if you guys made this far, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well, leave a comment, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.